Well, welcome to At the Coolidge. I'm speaking with Brett Michel and David Wildman from the Boston Phoenix and from the Boston Dig.
Or the Weekly Dig.
The Weekly
The
Dig.
Weekly Dig, right, the Weekly Dig.
And Worcester Magazine.
And Worcester Magazine as well, both film critics in Boston. And talking about what film criticism is now. Where do you guys sit in the midst of all of this Ain't It Cool news, Rotten Tomatoes, Internet Movie Database, New Yorker, The Times? Where does the alternative weekly function in a town for a film critic?
You're speaking about print now.
Print. We're
Yes,
talking about print.
Print being like the island that's slowly being, falling underneath the ocean.
Is it? Is that the general
The fault
perception?
line has been shifting, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
So what does that mean for you as
Or
writers,
I guess it's
as
more
writers?
it's more like a glacier. It's
It's more like global warming, actually, and
yeah.
the country's slowly, disappearing under, yeah.
But you
Whatever
function
bad
like-
metaphor
But
you
don't
want
you
to come up
function
with.
differently than somebody who reads, who filters what they might or might not want to see in terms of film, who reads that online? Don't you function differently than that?
Well, I function as a print journalist. I'm not
Right.
writing for necessarily a web audience.
Okay, so
even
what's the
though,
difference? What does that mean?
It means my job will probably be gone within a very
You're
short
very
time.
pessimistic about this. Give me the good side.
Um,
I mean, why wouldn't you shift to online?
That's a possibility. Being paid for work is
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that online is not profitable.
no.
It hasn't been yet.
So that serves the publishers of the.
I could contribute to the online segment of my paper and not get paid for it.
David, do you write online?
What I do is printed online. It comes out in print and it also comes out online. But I don't write exclusively online.
Is there a difference then to the way somebody writes online, or the way somebody blogs about a film, or the way Ain't It Cool News allows you access to criticism
Well, there's
versus the paper?
there's a structure to print journalism that doesn't really exist online. It helps me as a writer to have to fit within boundaries that don't exist online. I suppose you could call that freedom, but it's freedom to
Bloviate and
yeah.
Well,
and there's also you can actually say anything that you want on online, whereas opposed there's all sorts of constrictions in print, and there's higher standards really.
Standards
in print,
are key, yeah, and the standards have been slipping away with the rise of blogging, for one. I mean, if you read daily blogs, you tend to find that people aren't necessarily writing their own content. They are just finding other content and steering you towards that. And it's all driven by getting hits. So if you find a good, juicy story, you link to it, and people clicking on that, it's good for you because you're probably getting paid by the amount of hits you're getting.
Right. Okay. So they want to get those hits, so they'll be influenced
Right, and
to
that's
say
just-
the things that people generally are kind of coaxed to say.
That's
Whereas you
outside of
are
my
informed,
experience
independent voices
as a
for
writer.
Which is ironic, because you would think that the web would be a situation where you have complete freedom,
Right.
But because some of these journalists I call them, these bloggers who have their own film sites, are working with commercial medium. Really, they're having they're having actual ads on their sites. So yeah, they're trying to get hits, and it does change the intent of what happens, I think.
Yeah.
And if you go to some of the film blogs, you'll see a lot of the advertising that supports those sites are ads for the movies, paid for by the studios, and those same studios.
It's compromising.
Those same studios are more than happy to fly people from these sites, say to Los Angeles for a weekend, and put them up in a nice hotel.
Will they give them press packages and
Well,
give them access to
absolutely.
all these
Oh,
things
yeah.
that they want?
Absolutely.
They'll send them on junkets. I've been sent on many junkets in the past, and I think they stopped sending me when they found out that I would often trash a movie, that they would, you
Right.
know,
I mean, they want
Oh, don't play the game and they won't play the game.
they
Exactly.
want good
Yeah.
press, which is why with the younger writers who are just happy to be online writing stuff, whether they're making money or not, once they're starting to be given access to celebrities,
Right.
they're more than happy to be a willing tool of the studio to promote these movies.
Sure. So what about long form criticism? Pauline Kael style.
What's that?
Is there such a thing? Or do you have to read Film Comment magazine or something like that to get along?
it is. It's more of a specialty at this point.
I would love to have more space.
Yeah.
Spaces.
Yeah,
Why,
but the
why
trend
not?
is that our
this part-
space is shrinking. I'm down to 530 words. I was 750 words last summer. You know.
So why are they shrinking your space if they know you could write good long form? They don't want to pay you. They don't have the space. It's not commercial. People won't read it. What is
Right. They can't
Sys-
justify the space with.
Systematic. It's advertiser supported. That'll dictate the amount of space you can dedicate to something, and
They have to pay for paper. You know, it's very very expensive.
So is it-
paper and printing?
Well, if people aren't going to read it, is it because the viewers are less discerning and they really don't care to be informed about what films, more interesting films that they might
comes down
be
to
able to see if they went to their
circulation
indie house?
as well. I mean, how many people? I have no idea how many people would be reading my stuff. I have no idea how it would be, quantified. And that's sort of the key issue, which is killing print, is that there are so many places to get information now. There really is no centralized place to go for things. You know, if you could go to a site like Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes online to get a consensus of what critics might be saying about a particular
It's all
film.
this internet democratic consensus
But
reviewing.
the ironic thing is those sites are linking to print reviews for the most part. And, when those print reviews are going away, what are you linking to at that point?
So where are we going to end up?
Hard to say.
I mean, my
gonna
hope
end-
would be that there would be
6 feet
more,
under.
long, long form, more interesting writing that people would want to read. Good, colorful, incisive writing.
Do people want to read?
That's, I guess, the deal.
Or would they rather be watching us here online right now?
Oh, come on. I'm part of the problem or the solution. Well, on that note, thanks, you guys.
Please feel free to read my words.
All right. We'll see you at the Coolidge and your local independent movie theater.